And then Jaylen Brown, it was announced today that he underwent arthroscopic knee surgery for a meniscus injury. He's expected to be ready by training camp, but your two best players now have underwent surgery this offseason. Never a good thing when you're seeing hospital photos of these guys with casts on their legs. That's not what you want to see. Now, one of the things, I was on NBC Sports Boston today. There's like this Celtics, the off-season show that I'm doing with Drew Carter and Chris Forsberg, and we were talking about the Jaylen Brown injury today, and the topic came up. Does this increase or decrease the possibility of a deal, the fact he underwent surgery? And Chris Forsberg, who is very connected in Boston and, very insightful Celtics writer, he brought up the point that I thought was kind of smart. Brown, this is a surgery that's so routine nowadays for players that another team might feel like, oh, wow, this knee issue that we were worried about during the postseason, all solved. Like, he's all good now. That it could increase another team's vision for what Jaylen Brown could look like in their own ecosystem, where therefore maybe they would make an even greater offer for Jaylen Brown than they otherwise would have when there was just uncertainty about his status with his knees. So that's just a thought I wanted to throw out there to you, Dan, because I'm curious about your thoughts. Do you think this increases or decreases the chances of Boston receiving just this acceptable offer for Jaylen Brown where you just can't say no from somebody out there?
I think that Jaylen Brown's a very smart dude, and I think he knows the way this market may play. I think it made sense for him to get this surgery now. Even if he's expected to be ready by the regular season, by him getting it now, I think there's that window of opportunity of this is going to be a crazy offseason. So anything I feel like is on the table. I think that Boston's going to be listening to Jaylen Brown offers, and he is their most valued asset right now. That is Jason Tatum. I don't think Jason Tatum's on the market. So you're looking at Jaylen Brown, then you got Chris Porzingis, then you got Derrick White, then Drew Holiday. That's the pecking order. So if teams are inquiring about Jaylen Brown, it's going to cost something, especially now that he's leaning towards there's no mystery about this health or what might be going on. He got it corrected. I think it was the right move for him to get the surgery now. I think that's only going to help the Celtics in their bargaining chips if they want to potentially trade for him. And the Celtics have always generally been good about getting adequate compensation for their stars. So I don't know. We'll see. I was actually surprised to see Derrick White's name on there because I think he's been the catalyst to me of this team. That's like you have two stars there, but you need someone to complement Tatum and give you the defense and the 3-point shooting, the off-ball secondary playmaking at times. He's just a jack of all trades. So, like, to me, I think he's more important that I wouldn't be receiving offers for him unless it was something very significant. I think I'd actually probably be more likely to listen to a deal for Brown than I would Derrick White.
Well, the interesting thing is, so earlier in the week, I reported on my podcast here that the Celtics are open to listening to offers for everybody but Tatum. And then today, Shams Charania went on Pat McAfee, and he elaborated a bit on that and talked about how Boston has received offers for Jaylen Brown and Derrick White, but their preference is to not trade those guys, obviously, like Their preference is to trade Drew Holiday or Kristaps Porzingis. That's the route, or the Sam Hauser route. That's where Boston wants to go. Now, here's the thing, though, Dan. Like, it takes two to tango. There's no guarantee that you're going to get offers for KP who just has some mysterious illness that nobody knows about. Or Drew Holiday that has 3 years and $104 million remaining on his contract and is about to be 35 years old. There's no guarantees you get offers for Drew Holiday that are worth accepting, but you might get offers that are worth accepting for Jaylen Brown, who is a known commodity, who's still in the prime of his career and may not even be at his peak of his career. You might get the acceptable offers for Derrick White, who has gotten better every single season of his career, and maybe there's even more untapped potential for him if you gave him a little bit more pick and roll. So that's where I think a lot about that, and it's like, well, where are the offers coming? Who are the offers being made for? You might want to trade Kristaps or Drew Holiday, but there might be nothing that you deem as acceptable. That's just the reality of it. And so that's where with Boston, I don't want to say they're going to trade Brown or White because I don't think they want to trade Brown or White, but I think those are where the best value offers are going to come because somebody's going to miss out on Giannis that is dreaming of Giannis right now. Somebody's going to miss out on Kevin Durant that's dreaming of KD right now. There's somebody out there that's hoping for a sign and trade with a restricted guy, or they're trying to pry loose a guy we're not even talking about, and they're not going to get him. And then they're going to say, you know what, screw it. We'll give you those 2 extra first-round draft picks, and we'll make them unprotected. We'll just do it. We'll do it because we want Jaylen Brown. There's going to be a team out there that I think is going to make that a desperate offer. It's just a matter of if Boston actually says yes or not.
Houston?
Yeah, like Houston's a perfect team because Ime Udoka, him and Jaylen Brown are tight. Like I think if Boston sends Jaylen anywhere, they're not going to send him to some sad franchise that's not winning anything. I think that they're going to do right by Jaylen and would send him to a team that feels like there's actually a chance in a place that he'd want to be. And to me, Houston is like quite obviously like top of that list on paper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that would be that's also like adequate compensation. Like you have a slew of really good players to choose from. They got picks for days. That's the team I would be talking to if I'm Boston, if you want to try to make a deal done. I don't think they're actively looking at it, but like if Houston starts taking calls, like that's my first move because I think that they could really get an adequate haul for Jaylen Brown that would, when Tatum is healthy, that could be a really interesting team and roster construction.
Oh, I mean, look, Houston has the 10th pick in the draft. They can trade 5 future firsts. That's not even counting swaps. It's not factoring in that they could have young players who are expendable on their side of things. Like Jabari Smith was mentioned earlier. If they want to give Jabari Smith, they could give Jabari Smith as part of a package. Like they have a lot of ways to get to an offer that at least forces Boston to have a meeting. And so Houston is like number 1 on my list of, the potential destinations. I think San Antonio is very, very intriguing as well. I don't love the fit for the Spurs quite as much, but I think Houston would be pretty ideal. And so it's going to be interesting, man. Like same thing with Derrick White. My former colleague Logan Murdoch a couple of weeks back reported that the Warriors really like Derrick White. So like Golden State has pitched the deal. They've already gone for Jimmy Butler. I'd imagine they'll try to double down. Like I don't think they're going to move away from trying to contend. The Warriors, they must be watching these playoffs right now thinking, damn, we were a Steph Curry injury away from number 5. That must be what the Warriors are thinking right now, right? Like they have to be because they saw the Thunder vulnerable against the Nuggets, a veteran team. They're probably thinking we could have beat them. We could match the speed and intensity of the Pacers. That's probably what the Warriors are thinking right now.
I love a Derrick White fit there, but I'm also like, they really need someone else in that front court. But maybe they can go a little bit cheaper, big on in the trade market there. But if I'm the Warriors, like, yeah, you're not that far away. It's just a matter of like, can you figure out some situation for Kuminga? Maybe you get some. I don't know what the trade market for him really is right now. But I do think that there's room for. I mean, honestly, I don't know why they were so reluctant to trade Brandon Podziemski. He's a solid player, but I'm like, you guys had some younger assets you were protecting a little bit too much that I feel like they probably could have made that move last time. So this offseason is going to be really important for them to kind of extend that window because Draymond's not getting any younger. Steph is still playing lights out for his age, but you can't. I don't know how much longer you can count on that, especially the way Jimmy Butler just didn't really have it, those final few games of that first series in that series against Minnesota. So they need something else, and we'll see what they do this offseason. But I wouldn't be surprised if they're active in the trade market.
Yeah, Jimmy wasn't enough, unfortunately, but like they still have the ammo to get more because they got Jimmy for so cheap. So we'll see what the Warriors do. We'll see what the Celtics ends up doing.